Plenty more drama to come, and I tell you what, I've had drama alongside me with these two, Farrah Williams and Ellen White, loving what they are seeing so far. Will Mark Skinner be the happier manager out of the two, Ellen?
I think so. The way that I feel like they've probably dominated the game in the sense of moving Chelsea around. They're trying to figure out how to deal with the numbers in midfield, the press, the way they've created a number of chances. Yes, obviously Kaptein had that big chance with Solis Joyce making a great save, but I feel like they'll be excited with the way that they've progressed up the pitch, the connections, the relationships. They had a few chances as well, but I feel like he'll be the happier of Sonia Bompastor as well.
What will Sonia Bompastor be saying to her Chelsea team, Farrah?
I actually think Sonia will be more happier. I think Manchester United have absolutely dominated. I think Mark Skinner will be a little bit disappointed with the chances that Man United have created and haven't converted. But Chelsea need to solve this problem. We spoke about it coming into the game, about how Man United are good at dominated midfield areas. They've absolutely dominated its opening 45. And I think Sonia Bompastor's got a lot of work to do at half-time with the Chelsea team.
Well, Manchester United, they started straight out of the blocks, didn't they, Ellen, with some great chances?
Yeah, some really great chances. I think, yeah, they'll be disappointed not to have been able to convert those. And we'll see here, as you see highlighted, is Turland, and you'll see Man United using that massive pocket of space just in front of the back line from obviously Chelsea, and I feel like Turland should have maybe taken a shot a little bit earlier, even just slid it into Tooney there, Ella Toon. And then again here, you know, Ella Toon bursting into space, the transition, the numbers going forward, the busting run from Jess Park, and I just feel like she could do better with the finish there. She tried to dink it over the goalie, could she have shot low and hard, you know, get across Hannah Hampton. So yeah, they will be disappointed not to have converted those chances.
Absolutely, and we spoke about it coming into the game, about the mentality Chelsea are trying to adopt without higher press, but what they're causing is their own problems. You've got a midfield line and a strikers that want to go on press, and then you've got a back line that has a little bit fearful of the pace of Man United and are dropping off. And what's happening is a massive gaps created in between, and you're seeing the likes of Toon and Park pick up the ball, running at centre half, and they absolutely don't like it.
But I suppose, Farrah, against the run of play, Chelsea doing what they do best is still finding a way and then going the other end and getting a goal.
They do that well, they stay in games, and they do well. This is where their press works for them, and they've done well in the press here, and a little give and go. And what Kaptein does, instead of watching her pass, she actually follows her run into the box. You just see her highlighted here, and Macario, this is clever. A little back heel, Kaptein takes the touch and then puts it in the back of the net. You'll see it here, just running off Ella Toon. Macario, really clever flick, and in the composure, just take it and finish from Kaptein. Really good from Chelsea in their press, and that's when it works.
It's so cheeky from Macario, it is. It's a beautiful side-footed finish from Kaptein as well. Also, we haven't talked about Aggie Beaver-Jones being out on this left-hand side and not being number 9, which is a weird position for her to be in. I would have thought she'd be that number 9 role, scored 4 in 4, so I wonder if that will change in the second half.
I suppose when we see Chelsea go and score a goal then, we all then start to worry, because is it Chelsea's going to go on and just, I suppose, dominate this game? But instead of United folding, Farrah, they found a way back into this game, and I suppose it came from a very unlikely goal scorer.
It did, and as I said, they had lots of chances and possession. They do really well here in getting Riviera, the fullback, into play. But what they do, Alex, they recycle the ball really well. Cross comes in here from the centre half, and it's only half cleared. Kira Walsh only half clears it, doesn't get out to the second ball. And Sandberg, I mean, Ellen, you absolutely love this goal on the edge of the box, just fires it in the back of the net.
It's a beautiful finish, and she really kind of absolutely comes onto it beautifully. But I really like the way that Man United worked this goal, from the left to the right, Riviera in loads of space. She's on her toes, Sandberg comes right in field. It's a poor clearance from Kira Walsh, but she's on it straight away, Sandberg. One of the goals of the season. And the momentum started to really shift for Man United here, and they started to really get on top of the game.
Farrah, she's had the most touches by any other player in Manchester United's team.
Sandberg's had a really good season. Like even here when we watched Man United against Arsenal, I actually thought she was one of the better players in that game. She was fantastic, Sandberg, so I'm not surprised. I think actually down that left-hand side, I said coming into the game, Chelsea would dominate. Actually, Manchester United have dominated it down
that side. 52% of United attacks coming down their left. But Farrah, there's, I suppose, an interesting battle that you've been trying to tell me and Ellen about, that why Chelsea are struggling.
I'm probably going to struggle to tell the viewers as well, Alex. But it is. I think it's where I said Jess Park. She's right in field here, and then what you'll see. Look at the two midfielders for Chelsea. You can't actually see them because they're not highlighted. But there's a big gap, and then what they have is Ella Toon's playing wide of the diamond, doesn't mind running into the channel. It then takes midfielders out of position, and then this is Jess Park, who is their right midfielder, actually right in field. there's Ella Toon that made that initial run out to that left, who then gets a shot away. You see here, she just makes that run. It's making Kira Walsh have to go into spaces she doesn't want to. And then here we are, Jess Park just comes onto it, a little layoff there, and then Ella Toon eventually gets the pass. But that rotation in that midfield, Chelsea are really struggling, and Man United are dominating.
Okay, wonder if Sonia Pastor will make any changes to her formation in the second half. What an intriguing first half it has been, and we've got plenty more action coming your way on BBC. And that's not the only action, because this week BBC announced it will be showing the Women's Champions League for the first time. They have 7 live games to bring you, including the final. You can catch some of the big games. November the 12th, Mary Earps will be returning to Old Trafford with PSG as she takes on Manchester United. And then November the 20th, the champions, Chelsea, will be taking on Barcelona in the Champions League. I mean, there are some tasty matchups to look forward to. The holders, Arsenal, starting their campaign in the week against Lyon, and that's a big one, Ellen.
Yeah, it's huge, and obviously, you know, maybe Arsenal haven't had the greatest of starts to the domestic season, but this is their chance as holders in the Champions League to get a good start. Obviously, they had a great game against Lyon previously, so yeah, it's really exciting and amazing that it's starting, and I can't wait.
I suppose when you look at Chelsea, Farah, that is the trophy that they have been trying to go after every season. Is this the year?
Who knows? I mean, you'd like to think so with how much money they've spent and players they've brought in and the versatility they have, but looking at this opening 45, Alex, they've got a bit of work to do before Wednesday's game away against FC20. So, yeah, I think this is the year they would expect to go on and do good things, but whether that's to happen, who knows, because we know how good Arsenal are in their cup competitions, Alex.
But wait, I've been seeing all the predictions, and you have said, and you have put it out there, that it is Chelsea's year.
I have to. Otherwise I look a bit silly, don't I? I look a bit silly. Talking about how good they are and then doubting them.
Well, let's talk about Manchester United. Look, it's the first time in their competition. How will they handle, I suppose, juggling the two?
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult, isn't it, with the squad depth as well. We've seen in a number of games this season, they've only had 5 on the bench. So it's about that rotation and that squad depth and being able to utilise and have versatility within their squad. It's difficult. They're playing some very, very good teams. But I think it's great for the club, great for the experience, and hopefully great for the fans to come out and watch as well.
Farah, let's talk about some of the other teams, because we mentioned Lyon, who have won it more than any other team. And obviously Barcelona losing to Arsenal the way they did last year. Any of those teams we should be looking out for?
I think both of them. I think Barcelona, we know when you poke the bear, what happens, and that is what Barcelona are. So they've been poked now. Last season, they'll be so disappointed with their performance against Arsenal. They're going to want to come back this year and be stronger. But I actually think Lyon have strengthened in their forward areas. That they've got Katoto up front, and then that 3 that sit behind, they've just got remind me the brand from Germany playing out on that. And then they've got Demorne, and I'm trying to think Diane on the right-hand side. And that front 4 is frightening. The fact that Chawinga can't get in their front line at the minute, after an impressive season, it shows you how impressive they are in that area.
When you're looking at the Champions League, who do you think, Ellen, are kind of the dark horses?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, Juventus are going to be exciting. I feel like Man United potentially could be, but they're facing some top opposition. Obviously, Paris Saint-Germain are in. They didn't qualify last season. They'll be looking to obviously get to the latter stages, and obviously it's a league phase this side, so it's against the best. So it's really tough. Obviously, the top 4 get into obviously straight into the next round, and then we'll see what happens with the playoffs.
Okay, well, we've got 2 of the best going at it tonight.
You can see game-by-game her improvements there. She needs to, I think, still improve when to come into those pockets and be dangerous, and actually when to hold her whip to create more space. But actually, when she's in there, she's in some really good positions. You see her here, she's in field, but one thing she has in mind is how can she get her team up the pitch? And you'll see the determination. Watch her just put on the afterburners. You didn't see it? We cut it a little bit short, but you see here, first to the ball, and then her first thought is how can I get my team up the pitch? And she drives with the ball, and it carries her team with her.
Yeah, I feel like for Jess, she wants to get on the ball. She's really tenacious. And here we see her. Here's the lung-busting run, Farah. And she wants to play forward passes. She wants to move the team forward. She wants to connect with her teammates. I think it's just that final product that was just missing this evening. But I feel like, you know, she'll learn and she'll develop. But She was very structured when she played for Man City, but it's a bit more fluidity to her game now for Manchester United.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see here, even when she comes into those pockets, she is looking for those forward passes, and maybe as her connection gets better on that right-hand side, there might be an outlet there for her. But look, she's always aware in good spaces, always wanting the ball, and always trying to find a way to get and create half a yard for those shots, and that come really close. That was probably the best of the attempts that she had in this game.
Ellen, I suppose there were a lot of question marks when Grace Clinton left here and went to Manchester City and Jess Park came the other way. Do you think now, I suppose fans are realising that Manchester United needed a player like this to get on the ball in those spaces, as you've just seen?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, yeah, there was a few question marks, but I feel like this has been the right move for Jess Park. I feel like building the connections, and I said a second ago, Man City is quite a structured formation. You're quite stuck in your position. Here, I feel like she can move around the pitch. She can get in those pockets of space. She can connect with her teammate. She can be on the right, but float into the left. She can get higher up in those attacking thirds. She can take shots. So I feel like it suits her really well being here.
And do you think performances like this, Farah, help her when we're talking about getting into that England starting 11?
She hasn't done herself any harm today with Serena Wiegman being in the stand. I thought she was outstanding today. But I think what she brings to this team is that she can carry the ball. And we know how dangerous players can be when they can carry the ball up the pitch. For any defender, they don't like players running at you with the ball. And she does that extremely well. Man United are defensively well structured. And then when you've got a player like that that can actually get players up the pitch with you, it adds to that. And I think they've really added in bringing Jess into this squad. And obviously Grace Clinton was fantastic. But the different profiles of players has made a huge difference here at Man United.
I think she's got that hunger and desire and that work ethic as well. She wants to attack, but she wants to defend, and I feel like that's kind of the DNA of Manchester United, so it fits well with the players that they've got, especially in midfield areas.
Well, maybe it is a message to the rest of the league that, yes, they finished third last season, but they want to improve on that. And with performances like tonight, then hopefully they will progress. But Manchester United, they started well, they had early chances, but Farah, it was down the other end that we saw the goal first from Chelsea.
Yeah, Man United started really well, but this was Chelsea at their best. When they were pressing high and aggressive and front-footed, this is when they created chances. A really good press. You saw Kaptein play it out to Canavid. This is really cute from Macario inside. The way she controls it, holds off the defender, and we'll see again from another angle. She just holds off the defender here, a little cute back heel, and Kaptein takes a nice touch into her stride away from the defender and then puts it in the back of the net. It was a really nice finish there from Kaptein, and she got herself into a really good position.
I feel like that was missing. We saw obviously Kaptein's goal, Sandberg's goal. It was just that clinical edge, that calmness and composure that we were missing then the rest of the game. They were quite snatched a lot of the chances, you know, quite hurried, whereas that was a lovely finisher, cool, calm, collected, and it was a beautiful finish.
Why didn't Chelsea carry on with that momentum, Farah?
I feel like they really struggled to deal with the Manchester United midfield and that rotation in there. And I felt like because of how fluid United were in their possession and in that midfield area, they really struggled to get out, and the gaps become really stretched between Chelsea. So I felt like they did really struggle. Half time, I thought they might come out and have a problem solved at half time. That didn't happen, and it was until the last 20 minutes when Sam Kerr come on that made the difference for Chelsea.
Well, United didn't feel sorry for themselves, did they, Ellen? Because Anna Sandberg was brought into the team and proved right by Mark Skinner today, because she got herself a nice goal and a great performance.
Yeah, great performance on the left-hand side and a wonderful finish. You know, Manchester United go left to right. Riviera cuts it back to Letizia. It's a poor clearance, but it's a beautiful finish from Sandberg with her left foot. She's really kind of front-footed here, watching where's the ball going to land, and then she's straight on it with a lovely left-footed half volley. And yeah, no keeper's saving that, but she was really good down that left-hand side for Manchester United.
I mean, Farah, that's some impressive technique to finish that off.
Oh, really good. The way she cuts across the ball, you'll see it here, just cuts across it into the bottom corner. Hannah Hampton has no chance of that. It's just a little bit disappointing from Kira Walsh. One, the header wasn't big enough to clear lines, but then secondly, she didn't then get out to the press and put the Sandberg off on the edge of the box and gave her near enough a clean shot at goal. So yeah, I think in that scenario there, I think Kira Walsh would be a little bit disappointed with the way she defended.
You can see Anna Sandberg hugging players there. It was a huge performance, but overall, Manchester United, they had chances, didn't they, Ellen?
Yeah, they did have chances, and I think Jess Park said it there, that they're kicking themselves a little bit that they didn't capitalise on those chances. This is in the first half with Turlen, and this is where Manchester United cutting through that Chelsea midfield, big pocket of space in front of the defence, and Turlen just couldn't quite get a shot away, and obviously she did get a shot away, but I feel like she cut too early, and it was an easy save for Hannah Hampton. And this one, it's an amazing run by Ella Toon, and then you see that lung-busting run from Jess Park on this right-hand side, and we'll see her finish here where she just tries to dink the keeper. I think if she went low and hard across the keeper, across Hannah Hampton, I think it potentially could have nestled in the back of the net.
Yeah, I agree, and there was plenty more that came with that. And you see here, Riviera just runs straight through the middle, and this is what I was talking about. The Chelsea midfield didn't quite get hold of it. And then you see Wolfer here, she gets a little bit lucky and it falls out to Toon here on the edge of the box, and she's just leaning back as she strikes that one. And I'm thinking this is the Jess Park one where she gets on the edge of the box. No, it's no, it is Jess Park. I'm sure it falls to Jess Park here. No, Wolfer.
They did have a number of chances though, Manchester United. I feel like they will be kicking themselves because I feel like they could have potentially taken that 3 points, but you've got to look at the consistency. They've played obviously 11 times against Chelsea now, and they've only drawn one now the second time. So I think it's really good for their consistency and also what they're doing as a club and as a team. It shows that what they're doing is working and they're improving.
I agree. That Mallard chance there at the end though, that come just before the end. She has to hit the target. Yeah. She has to test Hannah Hampton because that was probably the most clear-cut chance they had in the second half.
Chelsea's still not hitting top form, Farah, but they still are unbeaten in the WSL.
Yeah, and that's impressive. They have a good mentality. They do have that never say die. They weren't the better team today, but they did, as Joe mentioned there in the interview with Sonia, is that they did throw everything at it, especially when Sam Kerr come on and Thompson out on the wing. I thought they brought a lot of energy to this Chelsea team, and they created a few chances through that.
They did, well, you say a few chances, let's look at them. But in terms of what we're used to seeing with this Chelsea team, Ellen, are we expecting more?
I think so. You're expecting them to be ruthless, having quite a few shots from outside the box. I think it's that cutting edge, that clinicalness. I was disappointed that Aggie Beaver-Jones wasn't the number 9 today. She was out on that left-hand side, then went a little bit higher as a 9 alongside Sam Kerr as well. So they brought a bit more energy when she came on. Nuskum was very good when she came on. She brought that energy. She wanted to be front-footed. She wanted to get on the ball. She wanted to create something out of nothing. So I feel like Greiten, Nuskum, Thompson, Sam Kerr, they all created something. It was just that end product for me.
I suppose when you look at the fixtures they've got coming up, Champions League games, then back into the WSL, but their squad is so impressive, Farah.
It is, and I think that's what Sonia has to get right. I feel like she rotates her team a lot. We've said about the profiling of players. They've got a lot of different profiles of players, so they don't have the same, which is good because you can change your tactics within the game. But she needs to get them right in these type of games, because I felt today the team that was put out in the first half probably wasn't the right team to stop this Man United midfield dominating the way in which they did, and then Chelsea couldn't quite get a grip back on it. But they certainly have the depth to manage all of these games, which is something that Manchester United were probably saying don't have.
So do you feel it's still taking that time to find out what the best starting 11 is for Chelsea?
Yeah, I think it's finding out that consistency, especially in the back line. She's gone from a 3 to a 4, having wing backs. Obviously, the midfield has changed quite a lot, obviously the wide players. So I think it's for her finding the right kind of recipe that works well and then kind of tweaking, I would say, because she's made a lot of changes game by game. But yeah, I think it's just going to take time with the amount of players she's got.
Well, it takes time. Chelsea still top of the WSL table with 13 points. Manchester United 2 points behind them with 11. Thank you very much, Farah Williams, Ellen White, for joining me today. So it was 1-1 between Manchester United and Chelsea. Next week we will be live at the Emirates as Arsenal are taking on Brighton. We'll see you on BBC 2 at 2 o'clock. We look forward to seeing you then.
Jess, you've just walked over, breathed out a huge sigh of, I don't know if it was relief, but just gone, that was so frustrating. Is that the general thoughts right now?
Yeah, I think, we played really well, as did Chelsea. I think it was a brilliant game. I think there was moments that we could have took the lead. We just need to be a bit more clinical and a bit cleaner with the ball. But again, there was moments where we defended absolutely brilliantly. Maya's last-ditch tackle was phenomenal, kept us 1-1, and, we'll take the draw, but we want to win these games.
Does a draw feel like a fair result, taking everything into account that you've just said?
Definitely not. You know, we really competed. We wanted to show that we can compete, and I think, you know, obviously it's frustrating because we wanted to take the win. So a little bit, you know, we never want to settle for a draw, but you know.
To get a point against the champions, what kind of statement does this make about your own title ambitions at this club?
I think, you know, we're always looking to win every single game we play. You can see how creative we're being on the pitch. You know, we're creating some really good moments, so we just need to put them to bed, but it's really coming together.
Final question. It was proper Manchester weather out there tonight. I think we can say it was proper minging, in fact. How drenched did you all get?
Yeah, I mean, it's typical Manchester, and it is fine now, but when we're playing, it's absolutely chucking it down, so, yeah.
Well, you better get used to it, because you're staying up here, aren't you? Look, you are the Barclays Player of the Match. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Sonia, bearing in mind that this is one of the toughest places to come, how satisfied are you with a draw?
I wouldn't say satisfied for sure, because again, we always play the games to try to win them. But again, as you just mentioned, yeah, that's a tough place to come and to play. I think we were better out of possession in the second half, and we created some really good opportunities. We scored a great goal. We couldn't have scored more than one, but I think, to be fair, maybe the draw is the result who reflects the most the game.
I don't know if you know the expression, throw the kitchen sink at them, but in those dying moments, did you say to them, throw everything at Manchester United?
Yeah, we tried. Again, I think, during more than 1 hour, we tried to be in control of the game. And, the last 30 minutes, especially with the substitutions, I was trying to bring the energy for us to be able to win the game. I think the players who came in did well. They brought the energy and the quality. We created some good opportunities through the end of the game. We could have maybe scored, but again, I think, Man United is a good team. They are tough to play, and they have good individuals, so maybe a fair result tonight.
I don't think we've ever seen you get a yellow card on the side of the pitch before. How frustrated were you today? You're smiling at least.
Yeah, I'm smiling because for me, the call was a wrong call. It was clear for everyone except for the referee. So, I was frustrated and I just showed my frustration. Of course, I know you can't do that when you are the manager because you need to lead by example, but we also live the emotions during the game. And, I still think it was a wrong call and it could have been a really good free kick for us. So, for me, these details are really important at the highest level.
Thank you for speaking to us. Safe journey home.
Thank you.